morning.
Good morning.
Good. My name is Paul Maluti from PJ Dev Avocado Nursery, Senior. I can see familiar faces here. People you have interacted. People have gotten seedlings from us. You can see Mary, you can see Bernard, you can see Menge, and many others. Maybe others know me. Yes, now we have that commercial avocado nursery at Isinya, where we are doing half and proper best quality avocado seedlings. Many of the farmers have tested it and they can ascertain that it has worked. It all starts there. I know Grace will tell you. It all starts there. So you start it well and you get to see the results. Many of the farmers who are talking about success about avocado can tell you for you that they had a chance to get a good and high quality seedling. So seedlings is a foundation. I'm here to interact with you, to learn, and also to connect. So yes, and so we came with also the seedlings. You'll see them. You'll get to have one or two if you need. I know out of this exercise, you'll admire to start. Those who have not started, those who are saying they started small, it's now time to have the bigger picture of it. So thank you very much. I'll talk more about the quality of our seedlings and some of the things that we have done to make them sustainable while at the orchard. Thank you very much.
So we asked him to come with them because many people like to, they always ask me, do you have seedlings we buy? So we have seedlings there. You can carry a few so that you don't buy by accident. You can add a basket. So this is how we are going to do the program. We're going to start with the avocado and finish. And then we go to the herbs and finish. Then I think we're in the pack house also, we'll be packing. So we'll also enter a bit in the pack house and see how the packing is done so that we understand the end of it, of the herbs to that. Is that okay?
Yes.
So we do avocados from the beginning to the end. Then after that, we go to the herbs, the beginning to the end, right? Okay, so let's move there. We start with the seedlings now.
So, hi guys, as always, this is your boy Alanobi the Billionaire, and today we are here with grass. Let's see.
Okay. So so this is when you're setting up your and this is based on the lessons that we have learned as a farm, yeah. And so I tell people the experiences that I've gone through. I'm not telling you to do what I do. I am telling you to use that information to make the right decisions, right? When you set up this farm, because we wanted to do everything at once, I wanted to set up the whole farm at once. A very good brother of mine told me, hiyo seedlings yote hiyo pesa yote huwezi pelekea mtu. Hii seedlings tutapanda huko. So we set up a nursery. And we met somebody who is a very good friend of mine. I asked him for permission to be using his name because it is a lesson. He told me he's from Moranga. He has a nursery. And he told me, nitakuletea Zion from a very good farm. Na nitakupeleka kwa hiyo shamba uone vile inakaa. So you're sure of the Zion. Because I had a little knowledge and I knew the main concern is the Zion. Right? Because when you speak to people, they tell you, make sure uko na the right Zion. Kwa sababu unaweza kuletewa Zion, na ukiletewa Zion, utajua kama ni ya giant ama ni ya Pinkerton ama ni ya Fuete na wewe unataka hasa. Secondly, you not even know whether it's from a lazy tree or an active tree. When is Zion umeletewa? For those of you in the sector that does livestock, mnajua ukitaka kununua ng'ombe ya maziwa, unaendanga unauliza mama ya huyu anatoanga maziwa lita ngapi? Is that true or not? Because kama anatoa 10, ujue mtoto atatoa 10. It is the same thing with the trees. If you look at this orchard, we have a lot of trees. Some are active, some are not. Because Zion zilikuwa zimetoka kwa mama different, right? But that is the farthest that our technology goes right now. The saddest part is that unaweza letewa giant na utajua until after 3 years. After 3 years, then ungoe hii muti, then upande ingine, then ungoje another 3 years. Now, unless you're getting a PhD or you're becoming a doctor, surely that is a very expensive lesson. And yet you're making it because you're making that mistake because you don't want to spend a little bit more money. So that is the lesson I learned. So here we did, tukaeka seedlings, more than 10,000 seedlings at once. We were brought rootstock. Now let me tell you another story about rootstock. Unaambiangwa ni kienyeji, si ndio? Bora ikue kienyeji. It is not true. Kienyeji ya Meru ni ya yellow. Kienyeji ya Kisii ni ya purple. Kienyeji ya Machakos ni ya different colors. All those are different types of kienyeji. There's a certain kienyeji that has got a better resistance to diseases, more resilience, uptake and all those things. Na ndio unaona watu wakina ukienda mahali kama PJ ama ukienda Isinya Rosi ama ukienda hizo nurseries, they buy the fruit, the particular fruit of that kienyeji. Wanakuja wanaziivisha, wanatoa hiyo mbegu. Wewe unaenda unakotewa seedlings, unaambiwa umeletewa seedlings kienyeji kutoka Marigiti. Some of them are even Fuete, ni hybrid. Na hybrid haina strength ya kuresist ya kukaa for many years. So after 10 years unaona mti imeanza kuwither. Who said some of your trees will die? Somebody said that. It is true, some will die and some may not. So here, my story here is we lost so many seedlings because one, my cargo, who is my grafter, alipotea after the seedlings were ready for grafting because the Nyeri governor said he's giving free seedlings. JKUAT wakaita watu wote wa Murang'a, all the grafters in the whole of Kenya, I think Tanzania and Uganda, were in JKUAT. Miti yangu ikaanza kupotea hapo, slowly by slowly, 10,000. Then cargo resurfaced again. He told me, usijali madam, hii tutakata alafu itasprout tena. Meanwhile, my time is ticking. Musisahau nimeretire, kule kwingine sina pesa. Tupesa twangu tote nimeweka hapa. I am not getting younger. At least Gen Zs can try and try. I had everything against me at that time. So anyway, cargo came, cut the trees, regrafted again, redid. I'm already on the 8th month. Imagine, almost a year. But secondly, then cargo disappears again. I think Kirinyaga governor also come up and it disappears again. Anyway, it was a total mess. My nursery, with all the wisdom of saving money, that was the first biggest mistake I've ever done. This is Bernard. Bernard is the one who is in charge of avocados, heading the avocado sector, and we are also training him to be working with the outgrowers. Yeah. So that is what happened to us. So we lost money, we lost time by deciding to do our own seedlings. Then the other question is, you can buy these seedlings from the roadside, right? It is okay to buy those seedlings from the roadside, but there is no difference between the seedling I was doing in my farm and the roadside one. The planting style was exactly the same, yeah? The katri kanatoshana hivi and all that. Now, by the grace of God, nikaenda hivi kuchukua mtoto Molo na nikarudi. Nikienda, I saw Kenyatta's farm, the one that is called what? Ngata. Nikaona wamepanda miti inakaa hivi. Nikasema watu wako na pesa. Hizi miti, you know, in my mind, there is no way they could have gotten this from a nursery roadside, so they must have resources to do their own nurseries. And I told myself, my God, they have got such good nurseries. I must check. A month after I'm returning my son to school, nikaona miti imeanza kutoa hii. This flashing. Yeah. When you plant a tree and it starts to flash, it is already telling you something. I have established. Nikasema in 1 month. Whatever it is this tree is eating. And now it was planted, I have to know. Niligeuza gari nikaingia huko. Nikaambia, excuse me. I have to know what this is. And they told me, no, we buy them from a professional nursery. And I asked them which one. Do you know I never got home? I went straight to Isinya and PJ to see the trees. And I found trees in greenhouses. Many, many, many trees. And I asked them, how much is this tree? How old is it? Nikambo, it's 1 year. How much is it? Nikambo, for that time we were buying it at 350. And I said, I don't care. I have already lost so much money and time in my funny nursery. I just booked there. They told me, no, you don't buy just like that. You book. And I'm like, hii miti yote ni ya mtu. Ni ya mtu tu. Hakuna mtu hata moja. I mean, there were over 1 million trees. And I was like, this is how much people are planting avocados. And they're getting professional trees. So which means people have advanced in terms of knowing the first things first. Now, let me tell you the beauty about this tree and what I came to find out. In orchard, we cut down after 3 years more than 400 trees, which were giant. I think we had a few of Pinkerton. Where is Eric?
Yes, madam.
We had a few of Pinkerton and giants. How many? And which was?
It was Jana and Pinkerton.
Giants and Pinkerton. We only learned after. Imagine 400 trees. That is more than 3 acres of trees. That's why you're seeing gaps. We cut that down. Very painful. That's why you're seeing this tree is younger than that one in this orchard. So there is no uniformity in this orchard. When you look at this other one, where now, this we got from now, this professional nursery, we had 99% success rate in this one. So as much as you're saying some trees will die, the percentage of the trees that will die will be determined by the type of seedling you get. To seedlings twetu tulikuwa tunaweka kakare karatasi hivi. Ukiona the root system, remember a tree has two stomachs. The first stomach is the roots, the other stomach is the leaves. When it is young, it needs a good stomach here so that it grows to increase the leaves, right? Now this the stomach is like this. I mean the two roots are like this. So when you put it down here, hello, for you who are, what happens? Your tree goes into what you call dormancy. Dormancy is, I don't want to use my energy to grow because I don't have a stomach to eat. So let me shut and focus my energy on developing a bigger stomach so that I'm able to grow. In that moment of shutting, it can grow or die. Meanwhile, month 1 is going, month 2 is going. At 8 months, unakuta kamuti bado kiko kwa dormancy. Kamefunga, and then finally it dies. Because you got a premature baby and you have put a premature baby in a very harsh environment and you expect it to work. Meanwhile, you have employed Eric, you have employed Solomon, you have employed Bernard. Everybody is putting water here, putting fertilizer here. Ati kwa sababu ulikuwa nataka kununua mti ya 120. Where is your maths? Where was my maths? I asked myself that question. This tree has been developed by a professional for 1 year. 1 year. They're charging me, even if I'm paying 500 bob, they're charging me 500 bob for this one tree. I put it here in 1 month. It's already 1 year old, right? It's 1 year old. Already, my 1 year in the nursery, because the nursery, zile za roadside na zangu za nursery, nakwambia hii miti, even I see it, I say hii ilikuwa ya Mungu, ndio Mungu anisaidie kusomesha watu nayo. How these trees survived, I don't know. These were trees that were only 6 months old. Nayo ile kubembeleza tulibembeleza. Kila siku nakuja unaiongelesha unaambia bibi uko sawa. So this is 1 year old, you plant it. Somebody has invested in that. You only need another 2 years and you're harvesting. In this one, it took 4 years. 4 years because first 1 year after planting, 6 months, 1 year after planting is still in dormancy. So whoever, if I had done this orchard the same time with somebody who's done from this, they would have been harvesting 1 year ahead of me. Just because I was saving what? 200 bob. 200 bob or even 300. So that is the other thing that you need to be aware of. So you have a fully established stomach. Yeah. That's the, you can see the root system. You can see they don't plant on soil. When we plant seedlings, we plant with soil. Unaletewa maugonjwa kutoka Murang'a ama kutoka Kitale kwa shamba ya mtu mwingine through the soils, because soils carry the pathogens, yeah? Unaletewa kwa shamba yako. But why also do you use this? You use this to encourage the root systems to develop. Because this is porous, you know? Inasaidia. Kale kakitu ketu tulikuwa tunaweka kanatoshana hivi. To roots tumeshikana hivi. Ukiweka pale hata there are no root hairs. Because and root hairs is where it fits. Kameshikana hivi, tap root nayo imekuja ikakunja hivi kwa sababu there is no space of growing. Alafu unakuja mnaambiwa na agronomist, with all due respect to the agronomist, because you see this avocado sector is very new, and I'm going to tell you that all of you have planted this. The agronomists don't understand the avocados yet. Walifundishwa kahawa na wazungu na bananas. Ndio unakutana na agronomist anakuambia kuweka shimo kama ile ya bananas. Na hii kitu ukiweka kule kwa shimo ya banana, maji kuja you waterlog, especially when you have waterlogging soils or flat land. What happens? This one starts getting root rot immediately. They get dieback. It does not like waterlogging at all. At all. Watu wa Kericho, listen to me. Watu wa Njoro, listen to me. Eldoret, listen to me.
We have made those mistakes.
Yes.
We are
You will, because you have a lot of rain. Why is it important also? That means your style of planting will be different. Your style of planting will be different. For me, I can put it here and I'm okay. My land is sloping like this. My soil is very easy to drain water. Lakini wewe ukiwa Kisinya, uko na ile mchanga inashikana hivi inakaa ngumu, lazima unaweka kwa ridge. Lazima una lift. Otherwise, itakuwa ina kapo inashikana, roots zinakataa ku develop. That's something very important that you must do. Okay? So this is the reason why I went for them. Now, the second mistake we made, how we planted. Situ agriculture agronomist alikuja akaniambia nifanye shimo. Tukaweka mashimo. You see? Maji kakuja, and that year I remember is when we had the El Nino. Maji nakuja inafunika muti mpaka hapa. Muti hiyo kwisha. So now, tragedy was first cargo nursery, second tumeweka miti kwa grave, third hatukujua kukifence. There is something called swaras here. Swara inapenda kakaki. You see this thing? I don't know whether it has sugar. The swaras were coming from party here. Hii shamba yote unakuta usiku swaras are eating line by line by line by line. Now, that is the first time in my life my resilience was tested. Because I lost one full year and we went back to the drawing board. Watu wa resilience, munasikia? We stopped everything and just said, let's go back to the drawing board. What have we done wrong? We booked seedlings, we fenced the first orchard, and we did the shimos right. And then from there, everything was successful. Very painful point. Okay? Now, the next thing that you must know. So the first thing is the selection of the seedling, right? So we selected 1 year seedling, a mature seedling. There is no professional nurseries in Kenya and internationally, because I've gone to professional nurseries international, and I'll show you mine that I've bought from seedlings from Spain. There is nobody who will sell you a tree that is not more than a year. Huyo ni uongo. They may survive, they may not survive, but they should be at least a year. That is how a mature seedling will like. Secondly, be careful what type of soil you're getting. Don't come with transferring soils from places. And third, the size of the paper bag will determine the root system. So those 3 things are very, very important, right? Secondly, why is it a certified farm? If it is a certified farm, nursery, they have their reputation to protect. Yeah? I know farms that have closed, nurseries that have closed, that were big nurseries here in Thika, big, competing with Kina PJ and Kina Isinya Roses. And they closed because they were the pioneers. Kama hawa tu, si nyinyi mlikuwa pioneers. But unajua wale watu wote walinunua sisi that time, ni sisi tulikuwa tunanunua that time, is when we were starting to understand professional nurseries. Our trees have grown. Then you realize half of your orchard is giant. Utaua mtu. Nasikia kwenda kumshika mnyonge, lakini you can't do that. Because it, you know, but yet it is a professional nursery. So nobody goes to them anyway. And we talk about it, we don't do. Tunasemanga usinunue kwa nani? Huko utapewa ma things. Wewe enda ununue mahali wanajua, they have a reputation to protect. So there is no way I'll plant here nikutane na giant nisiende nishike Mwaniki nimwambie Mwaniki I'm putting it in the papers. He will tell me no matter we'll replace. Unani replace here miaka 2 utani replace. Will you replace my 3 years plus another 3 years that I have to learn? You can't. See, yeah? So that is very, very important. So you get certified, so that means you know where the Zion has come from. They have farms, so they know where to get the Zion. If I was to get into expanding this farm, I can tell you for sure, I would tell somebody, unaona hii mti, nitolee Zion kutoka kwa ile mti, usiguze hii, usiguze ile, nitolee kwa ile, because I know which ones are the active ones, and that's what I want to multiply. Mnanielewa? Hii story, we are packing it because when you're talking about the Spanish trees, that's where we'll be discussing. Yeah? So you have the right rootstock, yeah? And you have the right Zion. Now, technology is advancing, and I don't know whether you've done that, because I know there's some nurseries now that are having trees that are very adaptable for salty water. Mko nazo? Mko nazo. So that's another thing. I also learned this from Menengai farm. They realized that the trees that they had planted, some of them behaved differently when it was raining too much, and others were behaving differently when it is sunny. So you see, one is very vibrant, ina furaha sana when it is hot. Another one ina furaha sana. So that means ni kule rootstock ilitoka. Hii mbegu ina behave according to where ilitoka. Kama ni Eldoret inapenda mamuvua na kukimbia. Okay, kukimbia is a joke. But you see what I mean, yeah? Na kama ni dry areas, maybe it likes, but the behavior of this will be very important. The longevity of this will be very important. And then of course this one is only for the variety and the capacity. Hii si ni ile mbegu ya juu tu. Si mnajua about hybrid and all that, yeah? This is the Zion. The characteristics of how it gives you the fruits will depend na mama yake kule alitoka na vile ana behave. Lakini in terms of does your tree stay long? Is it resistant to diseases? Is it living? Is it eating quickly? Is it having vigor? Hiyo yote ni rootstock. Okay? That is the rootstock. So msiambiwe ati mbegu ya kienyeji bora ni mbegu ya kienyeji. That is not true. There's a certain mbegu ya kienyeji that is very good for salty water, and mbegu ya kienyeji that is very good for wet climates, and mbegu ya kienyeji that is very good for the norm. Yeah? So these are patented. We'll discuss later. That's now the advance of the technologies. We'll discuss that later. But for now, what is the practice in Kenya? Most people at least know ni mbegu ya kienyeji gani, and they will tell you kule wanaendanga kutoa matunda hiyo ya Eldoret, wanakuja wanaivisha matunda pale so that they don't make mistakes. Wakiivisha ndio wanagrow. Si ati wanaenda kuokota any other type of seed. Okay? Lakini ukienda kwa roadside ama anybody else, do they have that capacity really? No. They will tell you kienyeji ni kienyeji, wanakupandia na wewe uko sawa. Unaona mtu mmoja is very vigorous, ingine inakuwa too big, ingine inakuwa too small. Hizo zote, that's the behavior. Now then we go to the next part that we did not know.